Whilst Truk Lagoon in Micronesia hold more than 40 of the most famous diveable shipwrecks in the world, the lagoon bottom was also scattered with scores of largely intact Japanese World War II airplane wrecks, a legacy of the same two-day American Task Force 58 fast carrier strike of 17th and 18th February 1944, codenamed Operation HAILSTONE. In this short video, I'm going to have a look at the wreck of an HAIchi E13A seaplane, Allied reporting codename Jake. The Allies allocated simple reporting codenames to all the main types of Japanese aircraft, such as the Betty bomber, the Emily flying boat, the Jake seaplane, the Judy dive bomber, Jill torpedo bomber, Mert reconnaissance plane, Val dive bomber, and so on. The Jake was a single-engine, twin-float, long-range reconnaissance seaplane that was 37 feet long with a wingspan of 47 feet and a range of more than 1,200 nautical miles. The Jake carried a crew of 3 seated in tandem in an enclosed glazed cockpit and was armed with 7.7mm machine guns and a downward-firing 20mm cannon. The Jake could carry one 550-pound bomb or 4 smaller bombs or depth charges. The Jake was often carried with battle groups being mounted on catapults on Japanese capital ships, able to launch and scout ahead of the naval squadron before returning to land on the sea alongside and be craned back aboard. But with a top speed of 234 miles per hour, the Jake was slow and vulnerable to the 380 mile per hour Grumman F-6F Hellcat fighter. After the surprise attack in Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the Japanese Empire expanded quickly across the Pacific. The great naval and air base of Truk was the main forward base nearest Hawaii, but as the Allies began their own march west across the Pacific in August 1943, Truk suddenly became vulnerable. On the night of 16-17 February 1944, 9 US fast carriers of Task Force 58, carrying some 600 strike aircraft, arrived undetected about 100 miles off Truk. In darkness at 04:30 on 17 February 1944, 72 Grumman F-6F Hellcat fighters roared off the carrier flight decks. After an hour of flight, they swept over Truk at first light, catching and destroying many Japanese fighters on the ground. Other Japanese fighters were scrambled, and those that got aloft took on the Hellcats in one of the biggest aerial dogfights of World War II. Although the Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter had been untouchable at the beginning of the war, it was now no match for the new F-6F Hellcat. The Zeros were shot out of the sky. The Japanese air base on the artificially created carrier-shaped Eten Island became a primary target for US aircraft, and many Japanese planes were shot down on takeoff or landing. Now, with undisputed control of the skies, over the 2 days of Operation HAILSTONE, successive waves of US dive bombers and torpedo bombers swept over the Truk Lagoon, sinking some 50 Japanese ships. This Jake sits upright in about 20 metres of water, just 10 minutes by boat south from the Blue Lagoon dive resort at the southwest tip of Weno, heading in the direction of Tonoas. It sits in a clean white desert of white sand, and is pretty much intact, as you can see here. The 3 propeller blades are not bent, they're intact, which indicates that she didn't hit the water at speed. Both wing floats are missing. One lies in the sand just about 20 or 30 metres away. You can see the distinctive air intake just behind the propeller on the nose cone. The vertical spar sticking upright was really a spar that held the antenna which ran from that spar aft to the tail fin. Both floats are off the plane, and one lies in the sand about 20 metres away south towards Tonoas.